So look, man, I got a lot to get off my chest with this whole situation. We had a cop that used inexplicit aggression toward this black woman, Sonia Massey, and this officer did the unthinkable. He did something that was very, very evil. And his actions are going to give the police a very bad image for a very, very long time. You know, I saw the footage. It took me a couple of days to let it sink on everything that transpired in that whole footage. And I had to look at all the details. I had to look at everything within that scene, right? This officer had no reason to pull that trigger on that woman. He literally had no reason. It's crazy to me that how someone can say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, is something that can cost you your life. It's amazing how that can cost you your very life. Let's really look at this from a spiritual aspect, right? This cop was very shook when she uttered those words. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Now, let's talk about why she said that. She said that in response to the cop's concern about a fire possibly happening over a hot pot of water. He was so concerned with a hot pot of water that it could cause a fire. And so the woman, she got up, went over to the kitchen onto the stove to remove the hot pot of water. As the cop was saying, we don't want a fire to happen. Mind you, as the cop says that, Sonia is holding the hot pot. And that's when she had said, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Because why would a fire just happen off of a pot of water? Why is that your biggest concern? Let's not forget, this woman, she contacted the police because she suspected that there may be someone watching her house, someone of a stalker, someone could be lurking around the property. So she was concerned. She's a single mother by herself with her kids. Anything can go wrong because she ain't got no man in the picture. So she felt that it was necessary to call the police. She asked for help. She didn't ask to get her life taken away. Now, if you watch that clip, you know that cop, that demonic, evil, ruthless, cruel-hearted cop, he came in there with aggression. He came there to that house looking for something to use against Sonia Massey. He was already fishing. Him and the other officer, they were fishing for something because they wanted to know about her vehicle. They asked her all these dumb questions about her mental health. Or what's your mental health like? What does that have to do with anything? If there's something or someone that is lurking around your property, you could be watched or stalked. Like, for as a woman, you're going to feel it is necessary to gain protection from the police. You're going to call them over to basically search the premises for any unusual activity. In her state of mind, who would have known? Like, how would she have known that this cop was going to end her life? How would she have known? And there's people out here that could be saying, well, she should have never called the police. She should have never picked up that pot of water at all. But see, the cop had asked her to turn off the pot, turn off the stove, remove the hot pot, whatever. She goes to do that. I mean, she's doing everything that this officer is telling her to do. He asked for her ID. She showed ID. She answered all of his questions. And after calling them over, it's like they're trying to make her out to be the criminal when she called for help. Here's my thing, right? If I'm calling the police, I'm not going to allow them inside the apartment or the house, because that's their opportunity to fish for anything, to look for anything that they can use against me. Some of these cops, man, they're very sneaky. They're very sneaky and opportunistic. They can look for anything to use against you, and if you're saying too much, they can use your words against you. And it's best to keep things brief as much as possible when it comes to the cops. It's important to talk outside so they're not allowed in your house. For what? If you're not under arrest, if there's no warrant for your arrest, then they not supposed to be up in your house. That's not protocol for the police to be up in your house if there is no warrant for your arrest. So, one thing you got to understand about this is, there are some idiots out on social media that are saying that, oh, this was justified. This shooting was justified. She had threatened to pour the hot water from the pot onto the cop. She was going to throw it. She was going to throw that hot pot of water onto the cop. In what way exactly? When was she going to do that? When was she ever going to throw that hot pot of water onto the cop? I saw the damn clip. There is distance between her and the cop. There's an island counter with a lot of stuff on that counter. That is separating her and the cop. The cop is in the living room. The woman is in the kitchen. She had no intentions of throwing that hot pot of water. The cop wasn't using his critical thinking skills in this situation. He didn't even know what rebuke even meant. He thought that she was going to throw the hot pot of water onto him when she had said, I'm going to rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Because he was so concerned that there was a fire could have happened. And that demon came out of that guy. That man, that cop had demons in him because she had said those words. That demon was triggered and it awoke it inside of that man. When I was watching that video, the footage, I could just sense that the cop was looking to do some dirt. He was fishing and hunting for something to use against the lady. He came there with horrible intentions. There is nothing to justify here. If you are trying to justify this shooting, you're a dumbass. This one lady on TikTok was trying to justify why Sonia Massey got shot. Trying to justify the cop unaliving this young lady. She claimed that she was going to throw the pot of water onto the cop. That never even happened. Because once she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," concerning his worry, his fear, that's when the officer decided to draw the weapon onto her and the other cop. She had her hands up. She ducked on the floor. And this TikTok lady was saying how, oh, you're not supposed to put your hands up and duck down. Like, what? In that situation, being a woman, you would not know what to do in that situation. You probably would duck down too because she felt they was going to shoot her. And so her only way of possibly dodging a bullet is by ducking down to protect herself. These were dangerous cops that were up to no good. You can say there's great cops. And I'm not saying that there's always bad cops. But I'm saying that this situation, it will forever be a bad look on law enforcement. It will be a bad look on cops. You think after this situation, a woman is going to be going out with a guy that's a cop? Hell no. Not after this situation. Not after this situation. It's not happening. This was very sick, what happened. And man, let me tell you something. I was angry as hell watching that footage. They did not have to shoot that woman. Let me tell you something. If the cop felt threatened, if the cop really felt threatened, why not just tase her? Why not just tase her? Subdue her. You can clearly see that that cop had no critical thinking skills at all because he wasn't using his brain. And once he shot, and once he became trigger happy and and unalived the woman, he was shook. He was shook. He was nervous and scared because he knew it was over. He knew his career was over from that point. And then the footage caught him saying, "Oh yeah, let her fucking die. She tried to throw hot water on me when she never did." He lied to the medics. He lied to the EMTs, all them people, to his colleagues that came after the incident. He lied and said that that woman was going to throw that hot water onto him, that she threw it on him, and she never did. Listen, that hot pot of water was never even near that cop. There was distance between the lady and the cop. There was separation. Go back and watch the footage. Pay attention where that hot pot of water was and where that cop was. You mean to tell me she was just going to throw the hot pot of water on him, knowing she was already in fear of being hurt by the police because she could sense that there was danger with the cops? It's like the cops were bothered that she had called them for help because they had ill intentions of taking her out. They wanted to question her and they wanted to basically look for something to charge her with something. And she was cooperative the entire time. But guess what? She still lost her life. So at this point, for the time being, fuck the police. That's how I feel. Fuck the police. Because that cop could have handled that situation a whole lot better. It did not need to escalate to that point. Can't nobody try to justify what happened. Can't nobody try to justify this. If you're trying to justify this whole incident, you're a dumbass. You're just stupid. You're stupid as hell and don't deserve a platform. I'm just being honest. At that point, if you're trying to justify, you just need to shut up. Because that mother, that young woman did not deserve to lose her life. Because now her children are going to grow up with no mother. They have to live with the reality that their mother got shot in the face twice. And I heard that she was still breathing. So there was an opportunity to save her life. But guess what? They didn't take that opportunity to save her life. The cop said, let her fucking die. I mean, he didn't flat out say those words, but he was on his way to say. That's how he felt inside. He felt deep down inside, let her effing die. So I bet you there's going to be a lot of riots coming out of this whole incident, a lot of outpour, and it's going to get very, very messy going forward. I think riots are a waste of time. They're not going to solve any issues. But hey, people are going to do what they want to do. The only way justice is served here is if this cop on the right serves jail time, prison time for life, or gets the death penalty. Because what he did was very irresponsible. So, honestly, man, I ain't got nothing else to say about this situation. Because I needed a couple days to gather an opinion, gather an analysis on this situation, to gather my thoughts. Because I'm not trying to be emotional over this situation. Because stuff like this happens a lot with cops. It's just never, it just never makes it to the news all the time. You know, this made it to the news. A lot of these situations are probably happening behind closed doors and it never makes it to the news. Think about it. Stuff like this happens probably on a regular basis and we just never see it. We never hear about it. So that being said, a very sad situation. You know, my condolences go out to the family, man. I feel bad for those children because they don't have a mother anymore. You know, like you can't call the police for anything anymore. You can't. They're not here to help you. They're not here to help us. They don't stand by their oath to serve and protect. No, it should be changed to we're here to enforce and kill. That should be their new oath. We're here to enforce and to kill, not to serve and protect. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. This is Solo Dolo Talks. I'm out, and peace.